too late at any age to hold on to a dream. One more.
Oh, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm Mary Pat McKee and I'm sitting here this morning with Cathy Bertling. I'm getting closer on pronouncing that. I've only known Cathy for 5 years or 6 years, and I still can't. I know her as Cathy. She is with American Senior Communities, Allisonville Meadows to be specific, and we are going to be talking about that facility this morning. But before we do, we want to tell everyone that what you see on the screen is the March cover of Indy Boomer Magazine. You can pick that up at any Marsh or Kroger in Indianapolis and the surrounding areas. That is Two Chicks and a Hammer. I almost said Hamilton County TV. It is actually HGTV. Good Bones is their show, and you guys should really catch it. It's great. Anyway, also, we want to thank Noblesville Trophies and Logan Street Signs and Banners for allowing us to have this show, so we are able to sit here and talk about the things we feel are important to baby boomers and possibly their parents. So let's jump in.
Okay.
American Senior Communities, Allisonville Meadows. You guys are located
at 10410 Allisonville Road.
Okay.
So we're right on the Hamilton County, Marion County line.
Yes, you are just south of 106.
Yep.
And great, beautiful facility.
Thank you.
I know Mike Ahern used to be your spokesperson. His mom was there for a while.
She was.
And we did one segment there on that. But tell us a little bit. I mean, your facility is, as they say, a continuum of care.
It is.
Can you tell people what that really means?
Yes, we have what is called a full continuum of care. So we offer rehab, long-term care, skilled memory care, as well as assisted living and assisted living memory care. So we can really handle just about anything that a family, a need that a family has.
Now, you said one thing there that I find interesting, and I learn continuously, which everyone should, and it's a good thing. But when you said skilled memory care, a lot of times in facilities, they'll have memory care, but they're not skilled.
Right. There's different levels of memory care. So the skilled memory care is going to focus on the residents that maybe can't be as interactive with the programming. And their medical needs supersede their benefits from the daily activities and the programming and things like that.
Okay.
Maybe have difficulty feeding themselves, really pretty progressed.
Right.
In our assisted living memory care, all of our residents have a meaningful day. Katrina is our memory care facilitator, and she does a fabulous job of really tapping into the interests of each of the residents so that they feel as though they have as active and meaningful a day as possible.
And that's Augusta Cottage, correct?
Augusta Cottage is the skilled memory care.
Oh, that is the skilled. Okay, so let me just to make sure, because this is a little bit different.
It is.
Your norm.
And if it's not something you've had to deal with before, it's very foreign to people. So.
Well, it's even, my father had Alzheimer's, and we dealt a lot with that, but they never put him in the memory care in the facility he was in because he needed the skilled.
Okay.
And they didn't have the skilled in the memory care so you have really two, am I understanding that correctly, two separate memory cares?
Yes, 2 levels of memory care.
Okay, so one is probably in the assisted living maybe?
So the assisted living building is the 2-story building with the portico out front, and we have the assisted living memory care and the assisted living.
Just regular assisted.
Just regular. And not all of our residents ever need to go to skilled memory care. Many of them can stay with us all the way through, and we do offer hospice and things. So it would just be a matter of whether they have a skilled need, meaning do they need pureed foods? Can they no longer feed themselves? Things like that.
Can they no longer go to the restroom, or can they no longer get out of bed?
Right. Are they non-weight bearing?
Right.
Those are the types of things that would necessitate a move over to skilled building.
Right. And non-weight bearing basically means they can't stand up, right?
Correct.
Okay.
As long as they can stand up and bear their own weight, an aide can help them from wheelchair to bed or vice versa.
I gotcha. Okay, one of the other things that I know, you guys have great activities.
Yes.
I mean, you take your people out, you have good activities inside the building. Can you speak to that?
Sure. We have a new activity director, so we're very excited to welcome Taylor. She went to Purdue, and she has some really great ideas, very energetic. We're having a wonderful prime rib Easter buffet for our residents, and she does many outings. They beef and boards, they go shopping, there's a tea room they like to go to, things like that, so that the residents feel as though they can still feel independent and enjoy things outside the building, as well as many entertainers, storytellers, cooking demonstrations, things like that within the building.
Okay, now is she fresh out of college?
She is.
So I'm just curious because, and this is a little bit off the subject matter, but I understand now that at the colleges they have different degrees. What kind of, does she have a geriatric type degree?
She has the activities degree.
Really?
And I'm sorry, I don't know the exact name of it.
Right.
But you do.
But that's what she studied.
Yes, that's what. And
Okay.
and you have certifications that you have to get, and of course with geriatrics, all of our staff goes through many different trainings. Actually, every month to interact and be the best people we can be with the geriatric population.
Right. Well, no, I think it's great. I mean that the schools are adjusting some of their curriculum to some of the needs of the community, which definitely geriatrics is huge.
It is.
And activities, because having the activities both in assisted or skilled are activities that keep them sharp.
Right.
And keep them more involved, and so it's really important. It's not just a matter of throwing a few activities out there.
And that's so true, because many people think, activities, but really, there's a lot of thought that goes into what we do. Even how the buildings are set up or decorated, the color schemes, the layout, all of those things are meant to be support systems in the sense that they're calming or it's accessible. And same with the activities. We don't do things just to fill the day. You want them to be meaningful and beneficial.
Right, and that's really important, and that is a big difference between facilities. A good question if you're a baby boomer looking either for yourself or for your folks, to ask what are some of the activities. The other thing that they always want to ask, and I know at your facility they can check it out, is the food.
Oh, the food's fabulous. Yes.
Because it's not at all of them.
No, that's very true. And that's the one consistent thing absolutely every day for the residents.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a day is the food. And when people no longer have control over cooking their own food, you want them to feel satisfied with what they're getting and have the quality be good and have many selections.
Well, it can be a difficult process because there are certain things that you can't, you don't want to use as much salt. I don't know all the different things,
so
but
we have to be mindful of diabetics.
Yes, that's what I
low
mean.
sodium, heart healthy, things of that nature, gluten.
And still make the food taste good.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly. But a registered dietitian does oversee all of our menu selections, so that's good. The residents do have to be able to make their own choices. What will work for them. If they're ill or can't get down to the dining room, we are happy to do room service.
Bring them up.
Or if just that particular day they'd like to eat in their room, that is available. But the food is very important, and so is the care. And I'm very proud to say that we received another deficiency-free survey, which we have received every year that we've been open.
Yeah.
So that's the grading system for licensed residential care, which is assisted living.
And I also know for a fact that having that for so many years in a row is very difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah. So you guys have continued.
Many buildings never get it once, so we're very proud of that.
Another thing about Allisonville Meadows that I find extremely unique, and that is the fact that your team has been there. How long have you all been together?
Oh, let's see. Our general manager, myself, director of dietary services, and director of nursing have been a team since 2007.
Yeah.
So 10 years.
Yes, 10 years, which is unheard of. And that's another thing, you talk about the food, which is, it's the first thing my mother talks about every weekend when I see her is the food. Was it good this week? Well, this meal wasn't, but this one was, so it's very, very important. The activities, again, are very, very important.
Yeah.
But the thing to me that is the most important is the staff.
Well, it's like any other home. It's not the walls, it's who's in the home that makes it home.
That's right.
And
That's
so,
exactly right.
It's very important that people feel comfortable with the folks that they're surrounded by. And I think the consistency and lack of turnover makes it more of a home-like atmosphere for the residents.
Right. Can you think of, and I hate to put you on the spot, but I kind of am, if you were looking for a facility in which to either move or have your folks go to, what would be some good questions to ask about the staff to find out about them.
Oh, I think certainly to ask about the longevity.
Well,
And
I think so too.
The longevity is very important. How long have they been together? What kind of turnover rate do they have? Because it's a little bit like a marathon. If you're constantly changing staff members, you're constantly going back to the start line and
Right.
starting over to get them up to speed.
Right.
And so then, that's not always a good thing. I think that I would always ask to have a meal to make, or more than one,
Right.
to make sure that it's a good fit.
Right.
I would definitely ask to see the results of their annual survey, because that is very important. If it weren't for the care, people wouldn't be moving. They're not moving for the pretty walls. They're not moving.
No.
Sometimes
It's a necessity of usually. Of some
exactly.
kind. Yeah.
So if you're going to move, make sure you're moving somewhere where the care is excellent.
One I just thought of is what is the ratio? What is the ratio of aides or CNAs? I don't know. Everybody seems to have a different name for them. But basically, they're not the nurses, but they're the ones that are usually first responders, so to speak.
People always ask that, and one thing I would like to point out on that is that you don't want to staff your building based on the number of residents.
Okay.
You want to staff your building on the levels of care, because
Okay.
you could have a full building of basically independent people and need less staff than a half full building
Very true.
with folks with a high level of care.
That's very true.
So you should constantly be adjusting based upon your current population.
Right, exactly. Well, those are good
Yeah.
questions to ask. The other thing that, this kind of leads us into a conversation that, we've had several times. I think it's worth repeating, and that is, when is it time to have that conversation with your folks or with yourself, that it's really time to, maybe seek out a little more help, not be at home alone by yourself all the time.
I would say start early.
Yeah.
I would make it a very positive thing. Not, oh, Mom, I'm sorry, that you'd have to leave your house, but wouldn't it be exciting to move somewhere and start a new chapter and make new friends, and every day wouldn't be the same? So start early, plant the seeds,
Right.
make it a nice conversation before it gets to the point where you're in a crisis situation.
Yes.
Because then it's all going to be negative, and you
Yes.
don't want them to have a negative flavor. Maybe just stop in for lunch. Ask if you can Mom, do you want to go have lunch somewhere? We don't even necessarily have to take a tour, but just to start to
Plant
expose
seeds.
them to that. And in their minds, a lot of times it's skilled nursing, because when they had a family member that needed to make this transition, those were the only options that were available.
Right.
So oftentimes, if they can see how beautiful and friendly and upbeat the buildings are and how many options they offer, the guard goes down a little bit.
Well, I know, and I use my example because I know it the best, but my father had the start of Alzheimer's. My mother fell and broke her hip. So, she was in the hospital. Dad had to go somewhere
Yep.
because he couldn't be home by himself.
Very common scenario.
Yes, and it's terrible because, she wasn't there to decide where the couch goes, and when you're the woman of the house, a lot of times those are your possessions. Not that they're not both of yours, but
Yeah.
you understand what I mean.
They matter more.
Yes, I think they do. So, she is still, it's been 10 years, but she's still asking now, who got that couch?
Yeah. Well, and I think whenever anybody's able to be part of the decision,
Yeah.
they react to it more positively.
Yes.
When seniors have had control of their life, they were independent people, and all of a sudden now you start to get older and you start to lose some of your independence, and then when you lose the ability to even decide where you're going to live, it's just a hard thing for them.
Yeah. Well, I got news for you. It's going to be a hard thing for boomers because
Yes.
talk about independent people.
Yeah.
We were raised to be independent.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to be very difficult for us. But the advantage, I guess if you want to call it an advantage, will be that a lot of us have had to deal with that with our parents, so we have some knowledge of what we're doing. But I can tell you when I turn 70, I will be going to check out some places so I don't have to. First of all, I don't want to have to make my children make decisions they don't really want to make.
Right.
Because
And beauty's in the eye of the beholder. The place that they feel you might like best may not be,
exactly
what your
right.
preference is.
And a good point that you made is the fact that do it while you still have some control, or not control, maybe more input. And you feel good about it instead of all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, well, this isn't exactly what I had planned.
I think that if people have a plan B in their mind, no matter what the scenario is in their
Yeah.
life, they will be more rest assured
Yeah.
and less anxious.
Correct. I agree. Cathy, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Always good information. You guys need to go check out Allisonville Meadows up on just south of 106, 104th and Allisonville. It is a beautiful facility. Eat some lunch. Enjoy the food. You haven't invited me for a while for lunch.
You want to come today?
Well, not today. Can't do it today, but I would like to come again. Anyway, on the screen you see the March issue of Indy Boomer Magazine. That is the two chicks and a hammer, Karen and Mina, and they have a show on HGTV called Good Bones. We are currently working on the May issue of Indy Boomer. It will be out the 1st of May with Bill Benner and Dave Benner, the Benner brothers, the Pacer guys. Bill used to be a sports writer for Indianapolis Star for many, many years, so it should be a good one as well. Also, Boomer TV, Sunday mornings, Channel 8. Patty Spittler will host our show, and that will be on, well, I said that, on Channel 8 at 10:30 on Sunday morning. Yes, I'm a boomer, and I'm repeating myself. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
That you must run, one more song to sing. You can sit out on the sidelines and watch safely from the stands, or grab the wheel